In today's video, we took this reef tank and built it up in under an hour. Make sure you like, subscribe, and most importantly, enjoy the show.
Hey, this is Matt from Willen Aquatics. I want to show you how we set up a 60-gallon saltwater fish tank in under an hour. So some of the equipment that we started off with is a base of sand. Sand, I like to use about 2 inches thick of aragonite. That gives me a good base so the rock does not move or shift during installation. Some of the setups that we like to use with doing a tank is using pre-established live rock from a tank. This gives us the beneficial bacteria that its ability to grow in the tank and not have that cycle. So in reef tanks, how I like to aquascape. I like to aquascape by using the U shape of a base. So I'll put down 3 to 4 base pieces of rock going down from the left to the right side, and I like to make the fronts taller and then the middle more towards the back. That gives me the ability to stack rock on the sides and on the back of the glass. This allows the caves and the actions to be more of a open tank space. Some people will glue the rocks, but for this aquascape, since it was already live and wet with coral on it, we went with a faster approach of just stacking. So when you do stack, you do want to make sure you get all the way down to the bottom of the sand and make sure you have that good base for the rock to really attach onto. So here at the store, we have 2 options of water. We have the Instant Ocean, and then we have the Red Sea Premixed. For this build, I went for the Red Sea Premixed saltwater because it's a low-tech tank. I wanted the alkalinity and calcium to be higher. Since there is no doser on this tank and it is manually dosed, I want that forgiveness to be a little bit higher, so if corals do move and they do take up that alkaline and calcium, I wanted a higher water concentration to be with the start. So for this build, we went with used equipment. I had an Aquamax in the back that I wanted to use for a hang on the back filter. We had some water style type filters that allowed the waterfall to fall off, and we were able to fill them up with carbon, GFO, any kind of biological media, and that allowed for enough filtration for this tank. And mainly it's going to be filtered by water changes with the protein and skimmer and the 2 water style filters. We do have enough filtration inside the tank that is going to allow for a good style of movement inside the tank. Actual movement inside the tank, we have 2 wave makers that are going to produce enough current inside the tank. We also do have a used heater that was off of a previous style tank, and we have 2 used Ecotechs to keep this build as affordable as possible. So for this tank, we had 3 fish that were already established together. We had a powder blue tang, who is the boss of the tank. Tang is a smaller tang that will live in its cycle of this tank for probably another year or so. We have a Mandarin goby that does stay low inside the tank, and some of you guys are probably wondering, for setting up a tank in an hour, how do you have a Mandarin goby in there? The tank was reestablished with copepods and had copepods in the live rock. We also have the Flame Hawk. He's also a good addition that stays low and keeps out of the way of the powder blue tang. So with this style of tank, we want to keep it basic, but at the same time, we want to keep it beautiful. So we went with mushrooms, zoas, and some hammers. With this kind of combo, we were able to keep a lot of color inside the tank, but the maintenance is lower as the soft coral doesn't absorb as much alkalinity and calcium within the tank. We're able to maintain it to a near perfect water parameter, with just water changes and daily dosing. While we add Xenia to the tank, it does have a lot of movement and pulses, but one of the great things about Xenia is it does work as a nutrient control. Nitrates and phosphates do get sucked up through the Xenia as they grow. Seeing some of the build in this tank series, what would you guys like to see out there? Would you guys like to see a nano tank, an all-in-one tank, a tank with a skimmer, how to do plumbing? Let us know in the comments and leave a message below. Thanks.